In this video, we'll be learning about the creational operators, and those are available to create a Flux publisher. We already did a video where we went through the operators used to create a mono publisher. So as you can see, these are the list of operators that we can use, and you can notice there are some operators that we have already discussed as part of mono creational operators, like just, differ, from, empty. So here like they do the same thing, but instead of creating a mono publisher, they create a Flux publisher. And we have also talked about what a Flux publisher is, but anyways, we'll just repeat it again. So Flux is a kind of publisher which can publish more than one values. It can emit more than one data, whereas in mono you can emit at most one value. Okay. So in case of Flux, like we saw in case of mono, we get a on next signal and directly we get a on complete signal. But in case of Flux, it won't be like that. We'll get multiple on next signals, and at the end, when the data is exhausted, you'll get the on complete signal. Okay. So let's start with the flux.just operator. Let's see how what the syntax is and how it works. Right. So let me just create Flux creators test, right? And let's create a test Flux, oh sorry, just. Okay, so we want to create a Flux publisher. Let's create a publisher which emits integer data. Let me import this, right? And we'll use flux.just and we'll emit more than one value, right? And then let me copy it from the other test that we wrote the other day, this one, right? And let me write here on next. All right, so what will we get is we'll get on next 1 2 3, and then we'll get a completed wala signal. Okay, on complete signal. And that's what we get. So this is how we can create a Flux publisher, and this is how the Flux publisher behaves. It creates more than it emits more than one value. All right, so like just, there is a differ as well, flux.differ. And as explained in the previous video, the difference between flux.just and flux.differ is flux.just does the early evaluation of the value, and differ does the lazy evaluation. What does early evaluation mean? Early evaluation is it evaluates the data to be emitted at the time of creation, whereas if you use flux.differ, it evaluates the data to be emitted at the time of subscription. If you watch my previous video of mono creational operators, you'll understand the difference. I won't repeat that now in this video. Okay, we'll just go through the syntax, how we can use the flux.differ operator. Okay, so let me just copy this test as is and create another test.differ. So like as we did in mono, it's similar. Flux.differ, we have to pass a consumer which returns a Flux operator like this, right? So we are passing a consumer which is returning a Flux to Flux.differ, right? And if we run this, it behaves the same way as Flux.just. As you can see, we got 1 2 3 and the completed signal. And the difference between these two are early evaluation and lazy evaluation, just and differ. The operators are pretty straightforward. We'll just go through them. So there is a flux.range operator. You can pass in the range. Okay, you want to publish values from x to y, and it will publish those values. So let's just see how that works. Range. We create the integer publisher itself, a publisher that, yeah, and as Copilot is giving us, and this is how the syntax is. You pass x to y range. Okay, and if we do this, we'll get 1 2 3 and then a completed wala scene. 1 2 3 and completed. So yeah, pretty straightforward. You pass a range and it will start publishing the values which are which lie between that particular range. Alright, the next one is flux.from iterable, from stream, from array. All these are similar operators. You can create a flux from an iterable, from a stream, from an array using these operators. Okay, so we'll quickly see the syntax, how how to use them. Okay, how to code them actually. Oh, sorry. From iterable, so you can create a flux from any kind of iterable. Like here we are creating using list. So as you can see, we created a publisher from iterable from a array list, right? We got a publisher from a iterable which is a list. In this case, you can create a publisher from any kind of iterator, any other kind of iterator. So if I run this, right, we should get 1 2 3 on maximals, right, and then on complete. So that's what happens here. Yeah, pretty straightforward. There is another operator which is similar, which is from array. So yeah, you might have guessed that you can create a publisher from an array, right? So let me just create array. Okay, new. I can directly create it like this now. Yep, and then I do flux dot from array. Come on, from array, pass in the array to it. Okay, so this is a flux that emits integer values, right? And then we'll do the same thing, subscription thing. All right. Oh, I need to define the variable name as well. Yeah, and we should get 1 2 3 and then a completed signal. Yeah, and that's what happens over here. All right, so yeah, pretty similar operators, both of them, from iterable and from array. There's another one which is from stream. Again, you can create a publisher from a stream. We'll just quickly show that as well. Void from stream. So I'll just take this list over here, yeah, and create a stream out of it. Okay, so this is our stream. Stream of integer values, right? And we'll then create a flux of integer publisher from a stream, right? So flux dot from stream, pass in the stream, and then the same thing actually, the subscription, copy and paste, and it also behaves the same way. We'll get 1 2 3 and then the completed signal. Yeah, so yeah, pretty similar operators, these three, from iterable, from array, and from stream. Yeah, the next one is flux.from and flux.empty. Flux.from, as you might have guessed, in the mono publisher video, we created a publisher of type flux from a mono using this mono.from. So this is similar. If you want to create a mono from a flux, you can use this. You can also create a flux from a flux, which we also discussed. There might be some use case where you may want to do that, but in this video we'll just see how we can create a flux from a mono. All right, so let me create a test from. I'll create a mono publisher, integer mono equal to mono dot just to, right? And then we'll create a flux of integer publisher equal to flux dot from mono, right? And then the same thing actually, subscription. And this is this will work. So we'll get one and then we'll get a, sorry, two, and then we'll get a complete signal. Basically we created a like we converted a publisher of type Flux into a publisher of type publisher of type mono into a publisher of type Flux. Yeah, so you can use this operator whenever you come across that particular use case. And the last one is flux.empty, which is uh, in Flux also you can publish no values, right? If you want to publish zero data, so flux.empty is for you. Similar operator as that of mono.empty. We'll just see. It will directly get the completed wala signal. There will be no on next. So empty, create a publisher equal to flux.empty, and we'll subscribe to it. Will directly get completed, which is expected, right? So that's how this operator also works. And these are all the operators like that you should know while working with Flux if you want to create a Flux operator. Majorly these operators are what you will use. All right, yeah, so that's about it. Very straightforward operators these are. So in the next videos we'll be going through the transformation operators. So I just wanted to get done with the creational operators. Yeah, so see you in the next one. Bye.